Good afternoon. My name is Cesar Tovar, and I'm going to explain my evidence of the problem situation. So the company we choose was Amazon. And okay, I'm going to explain a little bit about what we did in this project. First of all, we choose Amazon as a dataset, and we found an Excel. The Excel consists of 16 columns, and they are divided by two types of data, the string data and the integer data. Here we have the string data, which consists of the review content, image link, product link, review title, review ID, username, user ID, product, product ID, product name, and its category. And for the integer data, it was the discounted price, the actual price, the discount percentage, its rating, and the rating count. So, how we obtain this data? We'll obtain it from this page named Kaggle. And here's the link if you want to check it. And why we select that database? Well, it was mainly because our team found it interesting to analyze which products were the best sellers and how much money Amazon was they earning at that time, as well if the Amazon clients were satisfied with their services. Now, the problem they want to address, well, we want to address. The primary goal of the study is to analyze Amazon product data to answer specific questions, such as which products were the most highly sold, the highest and lowest rated products, and the most expensive, cheapest, more purchased, or least purchased. So the problem I'm going to focus in this video is which products are the most expensive, cheapest, purchased, or least purchased. So, some product categories might have significantly lower sales than others, and this is a potential contributing factor of the pricing structure. As well, if you have too many expensive products, it might experience lower demands, and the cheaper products might have too greater volumes, sales of volumes. So by analyzing the question, we get which categories have the most expensive and cheapest products, and how pricing influences the volumes among these categories. Now, the problem is really important since if a category is too expensive, it may have low sales and this don't benefit the company. Or, for example, the clients may be price sensitive customers, leading to lower brand loyalty. Okay, now the recollection of the data. The data was gathered from an Excel file. This was the name of the Excel file, and it was gathered using the Pandas library. And the file contains very many fields, the columns that I previously showed, that are product ID, product name, category, etc. And here we can see the categories, and I focus on the code. The categories I focus on the code were three, which were product name, category, and actual price column. These were the ones I wanted to address. Now the debugging, I use code to several steps. The first one was to use group by to analyze each particular column, and then I add functions to the end of the code. Some examples were the mean, the maximum, and the minimum. I use them on the price to get those values. Here's an example of what column I wanted to address. In this case, it was actual price. And well, specific columns like category and actual price are filtered to maintain the data that I wanted to know in order to get the information I want. I also use a string when printing messages like print the cheapest product is, and float was used on all the prices in order to make more easy calculations and statistics with it. The rest of the information of the code will be ignored for these particular questions, and this will be explained by my partners. Now, the exploration. I use descriptive statistics to understand better the dataset. Remember the question was, which product was the cheapest and the most expensive? So I need to use mean, maximum, and minimum values. So I aggregated this average and codes to see the information beyond the raw data. These are the like commands I used, which are max, min, and min. And here's an example of how I use on the code. For example, most expensive equals to the table column of actual price to the maximum value Python finds in the Excel. As well for the cheapest, but now with minimum. And for the mean, I use this code like category, prices, mean, and here you can see. And this question was addressed by using the code. So first of all, we need to create a password to enter the system, as it says to include 2 letters and a number. Well, I decided to include 2 letters and a number, and let's suppose the password is C2. We need to re-enter the password to access the menu, and the following image will appear on the show. Now I'm going to do it at the same time over here. Here is the code. I'm going to make this bigger and okay, play. Okay, password requirements, and the password was CT2. I can create anything, but in this case, CT2. And it asked me to enter it again, CT2. And here are the menu and the questions, right? And my question was question number 3, the one I'm going to explain. So I click number 3. Now, for example, this is the password, the one I explained. And afterward, the menu appeared, and we type number 3 on the shell because it's the one I'm going to explain. So once I entered the number 3, it will create the table to analyze the average price by category. And on the shell, it will show which product and category it belongs to, as the one of the more expensive and the most cheap. Now I'm going to click number 3 and enter. Okay, here we can see the table. Well, the graph, in this case, the linear graph. I'm going to explain a little bit later. And here also Python tells us something. It tells the most expensive product is, it was in this case Samsung. It was a television of Samsung with an actual price of this number. And the cheapest products were 2 USB cables for a smartphone and micro USB. In this case, both of them were of 199 pesos. So I'm going to add the rest to my document. Okay, the analysis. Now, Python analyzed the cheapest and most expensive products. Here is the graph. We can see that the smart televisions category has the most expensive products, and these cables, USB and HDMI cables, were the one most cheap. Here is the thing that show on the shell. And how do I get this information? Well, Python use pandas for processing and matplot to create the visual graph. Now, what I concluded while doing this program is that smart television category is the one with the higher prices in Amazon sales, while the cheapest were in the HDMI cables category, as I previously showed. And we can also see that the second most expensive category are the standard televisions, and the USB cables and wireless adapters are in the same range of price. This was explained in the graph. You can see these two are similar prices. And the data visualization was really helpful because there were moments you don't have time to read the information Python tells you. And a visual graphic is perfect because you can see directly the information you want to address in less than a minute and compare it against other categories, and you can see which are the strongest categories and the least purchased categories. Also, when analyze the message provided by Tony, we can see exactly the product located where it is and its price. In this case, it was the Samsung Neo series, the most expensive with a price of 47,900,000 in Amazon, while the cheapest were the cables, both of 199 pesos. And in this case, we decided to use Python to analyze Amazon databases. But Python can be used for an infinite number of different purposes. It can be corporate, financial, websites, programming, etc. So the more you practice with Python, you can create different things and develop. And also, I was able to see that Python in reality shows information that was invisible to the human eye, and it could demonstrate that machines and technology can be helpful if you program it to do exactly what you want to do. And moreover, I saw that programming is a fun way to learn because you can order machines without doing too much effort. Now, the analysis. I already explained how we can see the information, but regarding the problem and how we can solve the problem of the sales, of the prices, there were too many expensive and some of them were very cheap. They preferred the cheap products. So we can focus on improving sales in the least performing category. Using the information, we can see that these categories are not performing well. It could be better. So we can offer discounts or promotion to encourage purchase of these products. And if the sales are too little, we can consider discontinuing the product. Also, I'll use the price strategy for the most expensive and cheapest products because it's essential to highlight their value to customers, like quality, exclusivity, or unique features. So offering a payment plans or immediate discounts could boost sales. And finally, marketing for the least purchased products, like create campaigns aimed at targeting a specific audience that might be more interested in these products, or introducing the market with a new value proposition. Also, it could be useful to create a market research and develop empathy maps to understand better the customer trends, buying patterns, and what they are most willing to purchase. Now, I will protect the industry information below the law with the confidentiality and protection of information guaranteed by the principle number 3 and number 2 related to the best product of who is selling and also protect the client and the employee. Also, the code emphasizes prioritizing the public good, which includes protecting sensitive data. This will be protected by the password that was first created, and this is outlining the software engineer code of ethics that engineers must respect the confidentiality of information in a professional work. And this directly applies to protecting data industry of Amazon and of the Amazon database in this case, and to be honest about how data is collected, used, and shared. Also implementing secure access, ensuring compliance with legal frameworks. And the code described help me protect the industry information with the password that we created. So only some users can enter to the system. And we are going to focus on this software engineer code of ethics. These ones are the ones that will address to maintain and protect the company information, which are particularly number 2, which are 2.02, 2.03, 2.04, and 2.05 of the information wasn't gathered from illegally or unethically, that this was properly authorized by the client's or employee knowledge and consent. It has been approved when required by someone, and they keep any confidential information gained in their professional work and confidentiality. Now, the questionnaire, well, we did an IPO diagram. Here is the IPO diagram of all the code, all the process of the code, their inputs, process, and outputs. The inputs are Excel file, user inputs like the password and the menu. The process is the password authentication, the data analysis, all the statistics like mean, minimum value, maximum value, sum, and well, the outputs were the password you created, the menu that was shown on the screen, and the graphs were the outputs. The data, as I previously said, was known from Kaggle. We did a little brainstorming of our favorite companies, and then we decided to use Amazon, so we searched for it. We used two libraries, which were pandas to get the mean, sum, maximum, and minimum values, and Matplot to do the statistical analysis and visualize the data in the form of graphs. Also, I think that for my professional practice, Excel is an excellent tool for financial data and analysis, since you can create databases and graphs by only putting cells and numbers. And another important emerging technology is artificial intelligence, since it can give you a few ideas about how to develop your project or help you practice. And I think technology is an important aspect of my life, since we as humans are continuously evolving and developing new ideas and products. Technology at the same time is changing for us. And for example, every day of my life, I use my cell phone, internet, computers, and it seems normal for everyone, I think, in the world. But we don't have to forget that the technology can have negative aspects, and it can be used for unethical purposes. So we have to address to this code of being confidentiality and use it for right purposes, right? And this is the code that I use for question number 3. It's all this code, like the one I shown here on Python, and the complete code will be sent in Elumen. Thank you very much.